Alright guys, just took the backyard down to 2.5 inches from 3 inches. Just did that because I am going to be overseeding the entire backyard and more heavily seeding these really thin areas along the edge of the yard. So now the real work begins, as if mowing the back here isn't already a task in and of itself. So the first order of business back here before I seed anything is what I want to do is in these thin areas just go through the entire yard with the weasel, just loosen up the top layer of soil, remove some of the rocks. I don't want to get nuts with trying to remove the rocks because there are so many rocks in the soil back here, and it literally, you know, you remove one layer and then you just get to another layer. So I'll remove as much as I can, but I'm not really too concerned about that. I just want to get the soil a little bit loosened up so the seed has, you know, some good seed to soil contact. I'm always hesitant to loosen up a ton of soil back here because in the event we have, you know, a heavy downpour, that loose soil will go downhill. So let's get to work. That's one heck of a root. Alright folks, sorry for the lack of enthusiasm. I am beat. This is the worst yard to do a renovation. Well, not a renovation, the worst yard to overseed on. Everything was all right, but that having to change where that and bury that downspout drain even more, it just wiped me out. So now I'm on the easier part of things. Just need to seed, lay some peat moss down, and I'm going to use a seeding blanket. I wanted to talk and specifically about the seed. I thought about doing a hard fescue back here. Hard fescue does really well in dense shade, and I thought about buying something really nice from like Seed Superstore, but I just couldn't justify spending, I want to say like 60 or 70 bucks. And I couldn't justify spending that much on seed back here. If this was a flat shaded area, I'd be all for it. But since it is it's a 25 degree slope, 24 degree slope, you know, there's a high chance of seed washing away with storms we get in the fall. So I just did my research around, you know, big box stores, and I picked up Schultz, their shady lawn mix. Schultz is the brand I actually overseeded my front yard with back in the fall of 2017. It wasn't the shady mix, it was the mix made for all sunlight and those types of things. Anyway, that seed did it really good. I had no problems with it. You know, as you can see, the front yard looks pretty good. So I trust them. Not to say Scott's and Pennington isn't worth it as well, but I didn't really want to spend a ton on the Scott's or Pennington's dense shade because I had to spend at least 40 bucks to get a decent amount of seed for back here because they only sell their seed now with that coating on it. And so I just wanted to buy a seed mix that was just seed, and that's what this is. The other reason why I chose this is it doesn't have any noxious weed seed. Now, I've heard that no seed is supposed to have noxious weed seeds, but I did see at, I don't remember if it was Lowe's or Home Depot, it was a Vigoro brand, which I think is Home Depot. Their shady mix had noxious weed seeds, and it said annual bluegrass. And if I can avoid knowingly putting that back here, I'm going to. So I steered clear to that. I'm just looked at the label. Now there is some weed seed in here. It's a 0.1% weed seed. The name of the game back here is just to get grass growing. And I'm willing to spend money on seed that may have some weeds in it. I'm not worried about the weed seeds. I just wanted to get something that was relatively cheap that I could get a good amount of, because I know I'll probably be putting down seed throughout this fall. It may wash away, so I'm going with this. This is a Menards brand. I'm gonna have seed pretty heavily on the sides where it's pretty bare, and on the bottom where it's bare. Then I'm gonna overseed the entire lawn with this. The seeding blankets I'm using for my backyard are just something I found at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're weed free. It specifically says it's meant for, seed germination as well as preventing soil erosion. I wanted to try to get those Futura blankets that Ryan Knorr used, but I couldn't find them online, or you can't buy them online from what I know. And the Site One near me doesn't sell them, so I settled for this. This seems like it'll do fine. I'm much better off using this than I am peat moss. I'm only using peat moss in the areas that are around pretty well established areas, so the grass will kind of hold the seed in place. Whereas really bare areas like this, I'm using a seeding blanket to help that seed stay in place.